And Mary's back, so I won't get interrupted.
We are now recording the August 9th, 2019 Small Business Accounting Advisors. Hello, everyone.
Happy Friday!
Happy Friday! So, big news that I heard today is if you live in Canada and you have a Canadian Chase card, all your debt has been forgiven.
That's crazy. I just can't believe that.
I can't either, but apparently it's very true.
Why would a credit card company forgive debt?
Because you Canadians are so nice, eh?
We love the Canadians.
I wish I had credit card debt.
I wish I did.
My guess is having worked in financial.
Or savers, not spenders, you know. Not fair.
I wish I had Chase credit card debt.
That's right.
Yeah, having worked in the financial industry for quite a while, my guess is that when they put together the math of what their compliance costs were to maintain that over, some long period of time. One of my first jobs at a bank was in a liquidating line of credit. It took years for that line of credit to, go from, the huge balance down to something more manageable. So I'm guessing they just did the math and said it's cheaper to forgive this debt than to manage the infrastructure to keep, collecting payments and everything else.
So what, you think Chase is moving out of Canada?
That's what it
So
sounds
they did.
like.
Yeah, that was the first thing the article said was they closed all of their credit accounts in March. So after a few months, they said, all right, here's how many accounts we still have left that we would have to maintain. So that's my guess. I have no idea. I heard about it today when I got logged on the call, but that would be my guess.
They gave an example of somebody that owed $4,000. So he was used to paying his credit card every month. He didn't get a statement for August, and when he went to log on, he couldn't find how much he owed. So he called them, and they said, it looks like you owe nothing. He said, what? That's a surprise. And they said, nope, it's true. So, how much better does it get than that?
Wonder how it looks on a credit report.
So they had to have actually just written it off, which means they had to have they couldn't have done they could not have given him a negative credit report without giving him the opportunity to pay it in full. And that's part of that infrastructure, right?
That's what I would think. No 1099-Cs for them.
Those don't exist in Canada anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go. Another reason to move to Canada.
That and the healthcare.
Somewhere out there in Canada, there's a couple, and either the husband or the wife or whatever the couple is, one of them is saying, I told you we should have bought that Sea-Doo. We could have had that written off too.
I don't think they talk like that up here, but okay.
Sorry, I told you, A.
Or one or the other is going, thank goodness that's been forgiven. Now I don't have to tell my spouse.
Oh.
Honey, I won this Ski-Doo down there at the lodge.
Wow. Well, that's lucky. Christmas came early for them.
Absolutely.
Let's hope they use that as a positive and to pay off their other debt.
That's right.
That windfall.
That's right.
I'll put a bet on it.
Okay. Next topic we're going to talk about is Miss Sara. Sara, are we having problems communicating with our clients?
Wow.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Way to call her out.
Okay. I try to keep everybody out of email as much as possible. We use smart sheets. We're really ramping up Teams. My husband over there, he never gets on.
Yeah, he's cuddling with Penny.
Running out of camera, right?
Teams is awesome.
Communicate. So anyway,
I need to look at Teams.
I try to be, I don't want to be like, have to do business with me this way. I mean, I try. But you know what? There's all different ages. There's all different, and anyway, so you try to be flexible. But the point is, if I don't have a way to police what's going on in this office and with all my staff, if things are buried in silos, okay, I'm not always aware of what's going on, okay? And, all right, so email's always been that, okay. So, but I had one client who's like, she can't do the app, she can't do the log in, blah, blah, blah. I have to do email. I'm like, okay.
That's an app too. Just saying.
Well, she's on her computer or whatever. She's, whatever. So, but she discovered texting. So
Which is another app.
Huh?
Which is another app.
But, if you really wanted to find her or get an answer for her, it's text. Well, to me, my phone is my personal thing. This isn't a business thing. This is a personal thing. Okay. But she's great to work.
So then you don't write that off for business, right? That's a personal thing?
We'll edit that part out. Don't
Sara,
worry.
you are just getting called out everywhere.
No, but the fact is,
you don't want
the
people
point
texting you all day long.
Well, not only, okay, so that even wasn't a problem, but a couple other people were starting to do it. And what it boils down to is I document. I don't even like phone calls because I don't like anything verbal. Exactly. I have a couple that can only call or, want to meet me in person, but I want it in writing because how my memories.
Exactly. Oh, I had someone.
I need to go back and reference it or have, so whatever. But with the texting, I don't have a record of it. So,
let's talk to Dennis about that. Because Dennis, I remember you have text messages that you read on your computer. Dennis, you're muted.
Yeah, so do I before you.
Yeah, it's called Mighty Text, where you can, it'll come out, you can have the app on your computer and you can get your, rather than having to check your phone, you can just read it on your computer. And you can respond to it on your computer rather than trying to. It's called Mighty Text.
Mighty Text.
So we have some others.
Does that as well.
Go ahead, Greg. I'm sorry. What did you say?
I said Push Bullet is another app that does that. PUSH Bullet.
Okay, so in a pinch, I could at least solve the issue of me being afraid of not having documentation, because what happened today is one of them said, I never asked you to do that. I'm like, and then I'm like, was it an email? Was it on the phone? Was it, and I found it during text. So
okay,
I wanted to print out.
For that, I actually use a different solution. I don't use the Push Bullet for that. I use a SMS backup tool that backs up all of my text messages right into my Gmail.
Yeah, I saw something this afternoon about.
Because then you have the ability to search through those conversations.
Mighty Text is Android.
Yeah.
Matthew says dial pad. Ernest says Ring Central. And Larry gave a link for touch copy.
May I share my screen real quick?
Yeah.
So on mine, I use Dialpad. And made sure already there's nothing sensitive here, right? But basically, all of what I love about Dialpad, it's my full phone system, has all of the text messages that'll show up between different people. I can search through all of this as well for any historical information. So if I come into here and I go search, and let's say QuickBooks, right? I can go through messages. I can go through contacts. I can see all the different information I need, and it also will transcribe all my phone calls also.
Oh, my phone system does that. My
So-
voicemails.
And these go way, 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 way back. Like all
$20
the
a
way.
month?
Yep.
Who's that Ernest
So-
Cook guy?
But that's the phone system?
So it is my actual phone.
Is that your iPhone texting?
So this is, I have this on my iPhone and all my computers. So it's a VoIP phone system for our business. So when you call my traditional number, it goes to any device I'm at. And then I still have on my cell phone my own cell number. So I'm a firm believer that you should not anymore, like when you're just getting started with business, there's no reason to have your personal cell number on your business card or anything anymore. It's
Thank you, Matthew. I appreciate
All
that.
right, so I have a voice over IP system because it emails me, but
What service provider? Who's your VoIP?
Comcast?
local.
No, they're reselling they're reselling a service.
Oh yeah, the reselling.
Okay. Ring Central is another really popular one. Vonage is one. Skype has one. Skype for Business has gotten pretty good also.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the different options like that. And
Doesn't Ring Central have a free Zoom subscription as well?
it does,
Yes.
but it doesn't do the webinar version, just so people are familiar with that. But it does have the standard stuff, and it becomes part of the package.
Really? Because what am I paying? $99 a year or something without the webinar.
Oh, for Zoom.
Zoom, yeah.
So I
Yeah,
kind
I'm
of
telling
I
you.
use RingCentral for my fax. Believe it or not, I still have fax.
you have to have fax.
Yeah.
That's an F word.
Federal
I
grants.
know. But our
Right.
Canada Revenue Agency only takes stuff by fax or uploading, and a lot of time they won't allow the upload.
Revenue.
I'm so getting away from it. There are a few dinosaurs still left that need a fax, but
Well, I get
Hey, are you calling me a dinosaur?
Talking about the IRS.
I know.
See that? So Ring Central has all that, your fax, your text, voicemail, the meetings,
So then you
all of
can,
that.
so you can use your phone and call from your phone, but it's actually calling through Ring Central.
Yep.
That's cool.
And
I'm
then,
actually talking on a Ring Central line right now.
That's cool.
and then your
And I can
text.
actually flip it over to my cell phone. Right now, you're on my Polycom. I can flip it over to my iPhone and just keep going.
You
And
also
so your
have a new
text
thing where they can do it's like a little membership portal where you can pass documents back and forth, or it's little chats with your client.
Yeah, Glip. I think that's this one right here. No, it's this one here.
Sara.
And then
Obviously, I don't use it.
And then can you do like a global search of all communications with your client across all mediums?
Oh,
Like that?
So then it shows both the voice, the text, a fax that may have been sent?
Yep, that's anything that, I don't know what all's on a conversation, so I'll scroll quickly. But yeah, it's all there.
And Dialpad does the same sort of thing. So is there much of a difference? It's just preference?
So for me, I found that Ring Central I found it more complicated to set up and use because it had more features and functionality. I do like both of them. Dialpad just helped streamline it for us, get the setup handled. So again, there's less features, which made it easy. It was just overbearing for some reason with Ring Central. Did you find that, Ernest? Was it kind of like complicated at first to get it set up?
I've used it for a really long time. So it's kind of probably not fair to ask me that question because I've kind of like made changes over many, many years. But I have to tell you, so every time I go to do anything, I just call them up and go, this is what I want to do. And they either do it or walk me through it.
Cool.
So support is
They have
really
pretty good
good.
customer service for me.
And do you have to have a VoIP phone to use any of those, Dialpad or RingCentral?
So it actually, like, it traditionally will work straight off of your computer. So I use my webcam as my microphone, and then I have a secondary speaker that I use. It's a Bose wireless speaker that I've connected, and that becomes the speaker I use to hear from, and I'm using the same thing now. Or you can also have a desk phone as well. So
yeah,
I actually like having a desk phone, I found. So I use both in the same office, and it just depends on the scenario. You can also transfer or port your number over from a different system service provider. It'll get pulled over so you can do whatever you need.
Yeah, facts.
And then with Dialpad, I have 3 different lines that any line that somebody calls, it still comes straight into me. So I can have multiple phone numbers also. There's
that's key. I think that last thing you just said is really important. Like when I moved from San Jose to Sacramento and Sacramento to here, I literally could just go into their interface and say, give me a new number in that area code. And boom, I had a new number in that number. And it was in addition to all the old numbers, right? So you can actually still dial my old number that used to be on my San Jose business cards and still get me.
Nice.
So,
and then RingCentral also comes with GLIP, and GLIP is a kind of Slack-esque type program that would be good. Yeah.
That's what I was talking about. It's like a little chat channel.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. Dialpad does come with Uber Conference for the conference aspect of it, but I definitely, I got rid of my Uber Conference and I choose to pay for Zoom.
So what's the difference price-wise?
They're not that bad, actually. I mean, RingCentral was more money, but Dialpad's been adding a lot of features to where they've gone up in price. I'm checking right now on RingCentral.
Yeah.
While you're looking that up, I'll add that one weird caveat that I found with having the Dialpad is that some banks would not allow me to utilize the text message number as a 2-factor authentication. It would say that we know that this is not a true cell phone.
Had the same thing on RingCentral too, though, as well. So
Right.
VoIP phone numbers, yes, I absolutely ran into that, because that's one of the biggest things we've done is we have a special security line, we call it, and we tag in to where the text messages go to that line. So all of us have access to that number, and we can get the security code right through that, just like we do with emails the same way. So it's a good point, Greg.
Do you just have a singular cell phone set up for that purpose?
No, we have it on so because we can have it on our computer and we have our different departments through Dialpad, and we've got a whole tree, which I would probably get rid of now, but we have the whole tree. We send all of the text messages to a specific phone number. We pay $7 for that line, right, through Dialpad, and it receives the text message. But because it's a number to a department, all of us can see it. We just click on it and see it.
But that was not the...
Use that number for 2-factor authentication?
For most, but what Greg is saying is correct. Absolutely, there are certain times, certain institutions don't recognize it.
Because I tell you what, I'll get a team thing or a phone call and go, you're about to get a code. Let me know what it is.
The safety that we do from there is we also use Microsoft Teams, and we set up a special email in Teams, and we register that email just like we do the phone number. So all of them go straight into the Teams. And the best thing is nobody knows which account it's for unless you're asking for it, right? Because it doesn't say it's for this thing.
You're sitting there waiting.
Hey, Matthew, do you get a lot of junk phone calls, like spam phone calls on dials?
I am definitely seeing an increase of that, but I see it just as much on my direct cell phone as I do on Dialpad. Dialpad does have the ability to mark a number as spam, and it will block it from then out. There's only a few people that I say really probably deserve to go to hell in life, And one of them was the person who made the little VGA cables for computers with the blue knobs that catch on everything. And the second person is the brilliant person who came up with the idea of using local area code numbers for, call dialers. Super smart guy, but that person, man, I swear, if I saw him, goose fraba.
Yeah, I've stopped answering my phone if I don't recognize numbers now.
Well, that's something that just amazes me. With that is not illegal to spoof numbers.
They're working on it.
That's what they're doing. It is not illegal to spoof numbers. So
Wow.
Stuff now.
So one thing, just to kind of on the texting side, just remember when you're texting things with clients or whoever, not considered secure. So depending on what you're transferring over that, if you're transferring PII or whatever, you run, if somebody's sending you a social security number of a new employee or something like that, it's not.
So,
And so there are, so you lose some of the other, we were looking at some of those applications and things that you could do everything within, and there are other things out there. You lose some of that, the calling stuff, but there's Lisio.
I'm switching over.
Yeah. There's Lisio. Yeah, thanks, Ernest. There's Lisio, which is designed for those kind of communications where the client can have the app on the phone and use that essentially as a text,
Problem.
So that's that is one way to get around some of that stuff.
Right. But the problem with using Lisio is not everybody's going to do it. And I think that's what Sarah's trying to solve here. How can we get communications where they need to be for everyone?
Well, there's the only way to do that is either you say this is the way I communicate, or you do. There's
Magic.
So Mark,
really, the text message goes across as clear text, right?
Yes, it does, and
it's going across the wire as clear text. So.
Yeah, and numbers can be, somebody can clone a cell phone number and get your text messages and.
Yeah.
So not secure. Text.
Nothing is secure anymore.
Not secure.
Well, that's why, when you're doing multi-factor authentication, SMS is like at the bottom of the list, as far as level of security. It's better than nothing, but, I'd use it instead of having no multi-factor authentication. But then you go up to email, and of course, generally the best is some sort of authentication app.
Right.
And a push is the best of those, when it pushes an alert to you, that way if somebody's
And company policy, you just have to set the rules. Like you, Mark, when Sarah said someone had texted her, you said it wasn't anybody from my company, was it?
Yeah.
All righty, we're going to change gears. We're getting close to the end, and I want to talk to Matthew. He's got some things coming up. Yes?
Yep. I'm getting ready. So next week, we'll be going into our next round of webinars with the Insightful Accountant on QuickBooks Online Advanced. I really, really had a great time doing the first ones, and I'm really excited to do these next ones again. Oops, AnyDesk. You guys know about AnyDesk?
I don't think we're there. There we go.
Oh, look at it.
So on Thursday, the 15th at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m.
2
Eastern.
Eastern, yeah.
We'll be doing a deep dive into QuickBooks Online Advanced. I continue to keep building out additional content and different articles for Intuit on this topic. We recently launched this one here where it's a pretty good guide about the custom fields and how you can utilize them for advanced. And I just submitted to them a 2-part piece on the accelerated invoicing functionality of QuickBooks Online Advanced. each one trying to go into more of a deep dive of really how you can use it, try to give some examples, use cases and such. So I'm looking forward to doing the next webinar where we're going to be able to kind of go a little bit deeper than the time before and discuss advanced. It's going to be a lot of fun. The next one's the week after that.
So Matthew, does the advanced have a payroll product attached to it?
Very good question. So it still has the ability to use the traditional QuickBooks Online payroll. However, I'm actually also discussing right now with ADP. They have their accountant portal that ADP is, pretty well known for doing larger company sizes. And the way they've set up their accountant connection is supposed to be able to pull all the data from ADP directly into QuickBooks Online.
And I'm using that now, and it does, and it works beautifully. The way they've got it set up now, it's just when payroll is done, push a button, and you're done. It's there.
That's
As long as it's set up properly, it works.
Ernest, you need to
Ernest,
mute.
join us here, bud.
You're clicking away on the keyboard.
No way.
No way.
It sounded like you're typing pretty fast. So I actually, when I was out at the Latino Tax Festival, I had the privilege of meeting the gentleman from ADP, the marketing director, and we had a chat about kind of creating some content around the new accounts connection. And I was telling him I can see a great connection between QuickBooks Online Advanced and this new ADP, the portal. So I'm going to be diving into that next week.
Nice, nice. Now you're becoming the king of the deep dive.
Thank you. I am very, very honored that I've had this opportunity. It's been a lot of fun. Obviously everybody knows I'm a bit of a ham, so I enjoy doing like the live webinar type stuff. The only thing that's a little different about that is I don't get to see people, right? So here I get to interact and have fun with you guys, and I love it. I love that stuff. And I love the questions and having to answer questions off the cuff. But on a traditional like live webinar like that, I'm staring at a monitor and I don't see anybody. So I'm like,
yeah, it's a flat delivery. It's very different.
Yeah, it is.
You kind of have to have your own fun.
Good thing I always got two voices in my head, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You can't see anybody, but you can hear all kinds of people.
Yeah.
Me and my little friends.
I'm the same way. I did the demo of TBX online for the Boise Woodard group.
Yeah.
They could see me on these massive screens. I couldn't see them, and it was like
Really?
talking to a brick wall.
It's
and
weird.
Feed off of energy. So it was really uncomfortable because I didn't know if I was doing well or not. And now
She did a great job.
well, I have another lady who contacted me through Facebook, amazingly, and wants me to speak to her technical group about it. So I'm like, I need to find out how, because I'd rather do it like this, but
Well, they just have to have a camera.
yeah.
Yeah, if I would have turned the camera around in the room, you could have seen everybody.
Bouncing off the table.
Boink. Another one fell asleep. Boink.
So when we have the Bookkeepers Association of Ventura County, when we have the meetings in the office here, we've set up to where I plug in a web camera and they zoom in also. So that webcam makes it to where you can see the whole room of the people involved. So it's interactive. That way, if people can't come into the meeting, they can still zoom in and we're all collectively having a good time together.
Cool.
So
we're gonna work on that because it was really weird because I would try to be funny and there's and then I couldn't.
It's hard to know when you're the only one laughing.
Yeah, you don't know if the joke landed right or not, right?
That's right. Well, I couldn't see their faces. I'm like,
how do you picture in their underwear if you can't see them?
Yeah.
All right. Do we have any more topics today we want to talk about?
I just want to, I just saw the article about Blake Oliver leaving Flowcast, and I was, He's actually going to be starting up his own thing. He talks about in the article about he's been a California guy, kind of like myself, and flip flops are too long. He can't see himself having to go get buttoned up in a tie and a coat. But Blake he's a really, really smart guy. He's a very smart guy, and I know that he'll do some great stuff. So I don't think he'll have any problem landing very firmly on his feet, right? I actually think speaking completely out of turn, nobody said anything to me, it actually opens up an interesting opportunity for like David and Blake, because David's already trying to do the consulting aspect of it with apps, that perhaps there's a larger team up between the two of them to do some of that stuff, because he's done some good marketing stuff. So.
Well, I think, if I can leverage off of that and talk about Matt Rizzo, right, coming out that he's leaving, lots of people will make the point, right? Entrepreneurs are usually really good at being an entrepreneur and not really that comfortable in larger environments, right, where suddenly you've got a lot more handcuffs than you do when you're, starting up a company. One of the guys that I worked with a long time, he's a sales guy, and he is an awesome entrepreneur. He cannot work in a company with over 100 people. Every time he has been in a company that has gotten to over 100, and he's so good, he grows them to that point. It's a few months after that where he's like, I gotta get out of here. I hear the phone calls, right? I'm out of here. This and this. It's the number of different personalities, people, and processes that really kind of make the difference. It's kind of amazing, really.
Well, best
They
wishes
say
to
there's a
Blake.
place for everyone.
Yeah.
I know he'll do fine. I know he'll be amazing wherever it is he lands and whatever he does.
Absolutely.
We'll see him on the web.
That's right. Let's keep
And
our
the Cloud
eyes.
County Podcast.
Alrighty. I think we're going to end for today. We'll see you all same time, same place next week. Bye, everyone.
Have a nice weekend.
Have a great weekend.